This series was funded by great viewers just like you over on Patreon. Check out the description or end of the video to hear how you can take part in making the show even more amazing. Isn't. Hey everyone, Gaijin Goombah here. Welcome back to another episode of Witch Ninja, series that looks at media's most popular Shinobi see which are good and which are bad, and this one is bad.
Even with all this evidence, you're still gonna say that?
Let me back up. Ever since the start of Witch Ninja almost 3 years ago to the day, I've been getting some wacky requests for episode topics. Some of them made sense, like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe, Daredevil, and Randy Cunningham. But then there's Predator, and I can't with this one.
Well, looks like you're gonna have to, because the patrons sure as heck want to hear our take on just how Ninja Predator is. And hey, I get where they're coming from. From their cinematic debut in 1987 to their newest iteration in Predator Hunting Grounds, the Yacha, as they're natively called, consists of clans made up of highly utilitarian humanoids that rely on stealth and manipulation to take down their quarry. So what's not to get? Look, on stream you've mentioned numerous times about how you think obviously non-ninja characters like Corvo could make for decent shinobi, right? And for real, if you get to speculate about Ninjala's ninja gum, then we at least get to attempt to speculate on how actually Ninja Predator could be.
Alright then, do tell. How would you suggest we break down Crabface over here?
Well, considering so much of the story and lore is all over the place when it comes to the movies, the games, and the comic series, the best thing to look at are their weapons and tactics. Out of everything, those seem to be the most consistent and the most overwhelming when it comes to evidence.
You mean like the shuriken over here? I don't remember shuriken blades being over a foot long or retractable. I mean, I guess they kinda are reminiscent of the Roppo shuriken that historical ninjas were said to use, but I don't know about this one, my dude.
Well, you say that now, but despite how big or small the Predator shuriken may be, it's how the Predators use them that makes them so similar. We've mentioned dozens of times on the show that shuriken were made for more than just throwing. In fact, it's actually more plausible that they were used as pocket-sized fist weapons, right? Well, that's exactly how Predators actually use them. Thrown? Sure, but the Pred shuriken is not without its utility as a fist-sized slashing weapon, much like how the historical ninja were believed to use the tool. In fact, the Smart Disc might actually be a better analogy for the Shinobi shuriken with its smaller size and greater portability.
I suppose.
And we can't talk about Ninja or Predator without talking about fist weapons, because despite how different these two may be, their take on pain in the palm of your hand is seemingly identical. Any fan of the Predator series will tell you that there is no weapon more iconic to the creatures than their wrist blades. Double-pronged, 2 to 8 inch retractable blades that can easily cut through bone. And the bigger and more brawny type Predators will often double up with these fist blades and go full-on Wolverine, a show of power and pride.
Ah, so you mean similar to the Tekko Kage that Ninja would use. Though I would make the assumption that rather than being used as a dual-fisted berserker weapon, Ninja would capitalize on their multi-use utility. I mean, sure, these Ironforged gauntlet claws could maim the ever-loving crap out of someone, but they also gave the ninja an ability to go hand to literal hand with a katana, pairing the slice of a blade with the back of a fist. And let's not forget how useful it would be for a ninja to have metal bear claws when trying to do something like climb.
And alongside that is the Predator's Power Punch Glove, a metal bridging that extends from the wrist gauntlet to a set of brass knuckles which enhances the Predator's punch PSI. Not so unlike the ninja's Tekken or Iron Fist, which comes in a wide variety of metal knuckles.
And how about the Predator's other signature weapon, the Combi Stick? A retractable telescoping spear that extends from both ends from a tube no bigger than your fist. Not to mention that the Combi Stick was so respected and used amongst the clans that Predators were actually buried with them. And the Spearmasters were the second highest rank in Yacha society. So how does that work with Ninja?
Well, if you want to get technical, one of the greatest leaders of the Ika Ninja was a specialist in the spear, Hattori Hanzo Masanari. Though not a ninja himself, he understood ninja tactics which he used to brutal effectiveness in skirmishes like the Battle of Mikatagahara. But alongside those tactics was Yari no Hanzo's insane skill with his 14-foot spear, which now rests at Sai-Ninji Temple, as does he. There's also some historical evidence that suggests that some schools of ninja trained in the use of the Kamayari, or sickle spear, named due to its unique double blade, a curved scythe blade forged into the spear's straight edge. And let's be real here, this is not the first sickle that ninja have utilized into weapons. Finally, though ninja lacked the technology to create telescopic weapons, they did have the ability to mask blade weapons in everything from fue flutes to smoking pipes to walking sticks. The utility is there, just not the tech.
I guess I shouldn't even bother asking about Predators, plasma grenades, firebombs, or plasma mines. I know what you're gonna say. If there was one tool that would historically define a ninja, it would be explosives. From Torinoko smoke bombs, to Hiya rocket arrows, to Hyakudaiju firecrackers, to Orokihiya hand grenades, to Umebi ground mines. If there was a way to make something go boom, Shinobi figured out how to make it happen. And that doesn't even start to go into the ninja's wide variety of utility firearms like the Nikiri Teppo, a pocket-sized squeeze-trigger hand pistol that... You were gonna say that was an awful lot like the Predator's utility plasma caster, weren't you?
Hey, you said it, not me. And let's not forget the Predator's Metacomp and Satcom when it comes to the topic of gear. Now to clarify, the Metacomp is essentially the Predator's field first aid kit. Like Ninja, Predators rarely worked in groups due to the complexities of coordination, thus should they be injured, they needed their own personal stock of meds. Similarly, did Ninjas running intel gathering and other jobs on their own needed their own supply of field medication. In fact, Kusuri, as it was generically called, was one of the Shinobi no Rokuku, or 6 critical items of the Shinobi, right? The Satcom, meanwhile, is little more than a 3D scan of the Predator's general area, allowing them to know in what way to traverse the area where their target's in. Likewise, before a ninja undertook any sort of infiltration mission, they would take days if not weeks to either gather blueprint information or run recon to determine the most optimal way to get in.
Yeah, but
finally, one of the most useful tools in the Predator's repertoire, vocal mimicry, is yet another tool the history books claim ninja utilize for their operations. For the Predator, their helmet tech can replicate and throw process vocal patterns, imitating human speech and using it to distract targets or deliberately manipulating their movement. Ninja, on the other hand, use the vocal mimicry of animals and people to not only distract their targets, but also relay information between teams.
Alright, smart guy, then how about Predator's combat techniques? How exactly do those make them ninja?
Elementary. When looking back at the majority of movies, and especially the various Predator games, how exactly do they travel and attack? From high up, right? I mean, in Predator Hunting Grounds, the game almost exclusively has the Predator player traversing the level by moving from tree to tree high and above the other players, right? Guess who else does that? Ninja, through the use of the Tanuki Gakure no Jutsu. Your average human keeps their habitual default line of vision at about a 45-degree angle, rarely straining to look up any higher than that, which Ninja took advantage of when traveling, tailing a target, or making a surprise attack, just like the Predator.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that the Predator's cloaking device is a high-tech mock of Shinobi stealth jutsus.
Isn't it though? Look, I'm not saying that historical ninja had the technological ability to go translucent by bending light. Heck, we're only now starting to figure out quantum stealth material. But ninja have long before developed techniques of manipulating their own personal light and color to appear to be invisible. Such is the case of the Uzura Gakure no Jutsu and the Kannon Gakure no Jutsu. The Uzura Gakure no Jutsu had the shinobi wearing dark colors, tuck in their arms, legs, and head, and ball up tight as to not expose their hands, feet, face, or hair. Then, using trained breathing techniques would slow their heart rate and calm their mind, not ever moving even if touched. Likewise, did the Kannon Gakure no Jutsu have the ninja press themselves against a wall or tree and cover their face and hands with the exception of their eyes. When you consider that the only light source at night you're gonna get is a candle or a hooded lamp back in the 1500s, the success rate of this technique makes a bit more sense.
Oh, I get it. Both of these techniques aren't quite bending light like the Predator, but rather blending into darker colors and shadows, hiding their pale skins in obscurity of low light. Basically the reverse of what the Predator does. Alright, I guess I could get that.
So with all these connections between Predator and historical shinobi, what's stopping people from coming to the conclusion that the earlier is just a hyper sci-fi evolved version of the latter?
One simple word: sociology. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and deny that there aren't a lot of connections between Hollywood's crab-faced assassin and Japan's clans of secret agents, but what absolutely sets them apart is not what they do, but why they do it. For example, Predators see wrist blades as the most honorable weapon and see their plasma casters as the most unhonorable weapon of choice, right? Even going so far as to deny young bloods and new bloods the ability to use it till they undergo a rite of passage. Well, I got news for you. Ninja don't give a front-loaded crap about the honor that comes from close-range combat. I mean, for crying out loud, 9 times out of 10, a ninja's job was to avoid combat, and when said combat was inevitable, they did it with every advantage available to them. Like, within one of history's few recordings of ninja doings, Koga ninja Sugitani Zenjubo was tasked with assassinating up-and-coming unifier of Japan Oda Nobunaga. But this wasn't done by leaping from the bushes and taking the man out in a melee brawl. Zenjubo was up on a tree line backed by a cliff face and used 2 54 caliber matchlocks to try and take Nobunaga out. Ninja were not about honor, they were about getting the job done as quickly and efficiently as possible. And speaking of honor, when a Predator knows it's been beaten in combat, it programs its wrist gauntlet to detonate, taking out the body of the Predator and more importantly its tech along with it, right? Well, I get why people could assume that ninja when caught would attempt to commit suicide to protect the secrets that they would have about their clans, techniques, and so on, but as far as recorded history goes, I have yet to find a single occurrence of a ninja performing such an act, nor can I find any information on recipes for Shinobi cyanide tablets within the major ninja historical texts. What you gotta remember is a ninja's job at its core was to do one thing: survive. I mean, geez, it's in their name, which translates into one who endures. Ninja never, and I mean never, shared the same principles of Samurai Bushido code. Not only was seppuku and honor a hurdle to get their jobs done, but also ended up wasting a lifetime of investing in training and equipping a gennin. Where predators hunt for honor, fight for honor, and die for honor, ninja, quite frankly, couldn't care less. Look guys, I know there's a ton of connections between Predator and Ninja, far more than the ones we mentioned here. But if the question we're asking is how historically ninja are predators, I'd honestly have to say, not that much. Not because of what they did or didn't do, but rather why they do what they do. A samurai and a knight both fight with heavy armor, swords, spears, and have a personal code. But their differences in cultural ideology is what separates them into entirely different entities of warrior. That's why I just don't think these two click.
Well, what do you guys think? Would you say that predators are true future tech shinobi? Let us know in the comments below.
But while you do that, I gotta give a big shout out to this video's sponsor, you guys. All of you over on Patreon and Twitch who have been with me through thick and thin and have allowed me to keep making content the way that I love making it. So once again, thank you all. We would not be here without you guys. So if you love not only ninjas but all kinds of culture from Japan and beyond and want to see how your favorite games, anime, and movies can teach it to you, well, sub up and get notifications on, because barring any other global catastrophes, we upload just about every week. Or come by every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday where we break down culture and gaming live. But until next time everyone, this is Gaijin Goombah, signing out.